Yesterday we had completed chapter 4 verse 17 of the Bhagavad Gita. But it was not completed in the sense that action was done of completing that particular verse, but no explanation was given because explanation starts today. So the next verse onwards the explanation starts. So what was the question which was so important? So Sri Krishna is giving an understanding to Arjuna that there are three kinds of actions which we need to think of. The first is directly known as action. Okay? So there is something which is called an action. Something that has to be done, something which gets done. The second one is called inaction. Inaction means maybe it's getting done, maybe it's not getting done. We will learn about that. And the third one is called prohibited action. Actions which the scriptures do not permit you to do. But human beings tend to do those actions. It could be sinful or whatever. So we have to learn these three kinds of actions which are there. And today we will learn them. We are doing Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 18. He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise amongst men. He is a yogi who has performed all actions. So here Sri Krishna is saying that who is a yogi? A yogi is a person who does all actions. So you may say, oh, that means we don't do. We are not yogis. What does it mean? Well, a yogi is a person who does everything. Action, inaction, prohibited action, whatever that is required at that point in time, he does it. So, what is the definition of this yogi who does the action? This yogi sees action in inaction. You may say, now this is an example for you to understand. There is a dam. A dam, every state has a dam. Water is getting collected in the dam. It is coming by the natural flow of rivers or streams or whatever. Now the water gets collected over there on its own by the rainfall, by rivers entering the dam and so on in the catchment area. Now I want you to think, has any action happened over there? You may say it is but natural for water to collect in deeper places. Happens by the natural process. So as an average human being, you may not consider that some action has happened. But the yogi looks at it as an action in an inaction. There is no action getting performed over there, so there is inaction, nothing happening. And yet, the water has got accumulated, so action has happened. Likewise, you may be standing at a railway station and the train doesn't come. You're looking at your watch, it is 10 o'clock in the morning, and for the last half an hour you are standing on the railway station waiting for the train to come. The train has not come. Are you doing anything? You may say, I am just waiting for the train to come. Okay. Is some action happening? No, I am so frustrated. I am just standing over here waiting for the train to come. Well, according to you, is the action happening or inaction is happening? So the common parlance, a person says, nothing is happening. Well, you are getting frustrated, you are getting upset, you are getting angry because the train has not come. You wanted the train to come and it should have been moving and you would have been halfway through your destination. And yet, it is not happening. So in the material world, you may say there is nothing happening. But your mind has already gone places. So in an action which you do not understand it's happening, there is nothing happening. Nothing is happening. So like this you will find that there are examples after examples which you can give yourself. And you can say that, what is this? In my life nothing is moving, Have you heard this sentence? Everybody else has gone way ahead. I am the only person who is sitting over there doing nothing. Nothing is happening in my life. A young girl may say, all my friends have got married. I am the only one who is not married. Nothing is happening. I am not getting a good boy. So for her it is inaction. But the whole world is in action. So in your life, have you noticed this is how we come across various examples? He is getting all the money. I am not getting anything. We are both working for the same organization and yet he is making so much money. I am not making anything. Another person will say, that fellow at this age he has built 2 houses, one for himself and one for his mother and father. Look at me. I am staying in a rented property. The whole point is, why should I be staying in a rented property whereas that fellow is enjoying his life? He has got 2 houses he's got to his name. So there is action there. And in your life there is inaction. Nothing is moving. You are just stuck up over there. Nothing happens to me. So, but the yogi is having the knowledge. The most important part in this is knowledge. That is why he is called wise amongst men. In his world, he can see that if the train doesn't come in time, there must be some greater reason for it. And the reason could be that maybe the person whom he was supposed to meet is not there. Maybe the train might have gone before time, it could have met with an accident. Something strange is happening. So he considers it as an action in inaction. On the other hand, he is doing everything that is needed. He is performing all action. Eating, drinking, sleeping, walking, talking, everything. He is just doing it just like any other normal person. And yet, while doing those actions in his life, he is in inaction mode. How this works, we will see in the next verse. We are doing chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 19. Even the wise call him a sage, whose undertakings are all free from desire and sankalpas, and whose actions are burnt out by the fire of wisdom. Underline this verse in your life. Always remember this verse. It is for your growth purposes. Please remember that there are certain things which I keep on saying that you need to follow them in a very regular manner. This is one of the verses which are very critical for us, are very important for us. The wise call him a sage. Who is the wise? An enlightened person. He will call this average human being a sage. Which person will call him a sage? A sagacious person, a person who is an intelligent person, a person who has knowledge, a wise man, an intelligent person, whose undertakings are all free from desires. Please remember, any action which has got a desire as the underlying factor, that action is called motivated action. Remember this. All actions who has got an underlying motivation in it or a desire in it, this action is going to lead us to karma. So, the word desire has come. Because of the word desire, the action which you do in this world is always going to be a motivated action. The motivated action always leads us to karma. Remember, every karma that you do, you need to repay that karma. This is very important. Now, what he says over here is, these undertakings are all free from desires and sankalpas. That is the thought of the world, and whose actions are burnt out by the fire of wisdom. We have a sankalpa. Now this verse may take a little explanation, so listen very carefully. A sankalpa is something that I feel I need to do. A thought process, a process of thinking. What is the process of thinking for a person who wants a job? I want a job. Why do I want a job? So that I can earn a living. I can eat my food, I can pay for my rentals, I can live with my family, so on and so forth. This is called the sankalpa, which is nothing but a thought of the world. I need money, so I need a job. Did you see these linkages? I need to build some house, so I need money. When I need money, I need to make money. Thought process of the world, sankalpa. So anybody who has a sankalpa has a desire. Thought, I want to get married. I want to have a family of my own. It's a sankalpa. I need to have a family of my own. So, the desire is to get married. Nobody loves me. I need to be loved. I will find myself a boyfriend or a girlfriend who will love me. Sankalpa. So the desire has arisen in the mind of the person. I need this, so I have to do this. Motivated action is required in this case. What is the motivation? I need to get married and I need to have children, blah blah blah. So action is required. Rich families, very stinking rich families, royal families, they need to get married to another royal. Rich families need to get married to another rich family. It is not a union between a boy and a girl. It's a union of families. I am sure you know this. Hey, this has been going on for eons. So one family is married to another family, then business happens. Are they bothered about the boy or the girl? Who cares? They are just getting married because these two families have to get married. Well, everybody does like that. You will find that royalty also does the same. One royalty will get married to another royalty. One king's daughter will get married to another king's son. Why? Then the two kingdoms can come together as one. It is a holy matrimony, we call it. For what reason? So, you will find that a girl may think, I want to get married to a rich guy. Why? Marriage is not about getting married, it's about richness or poorness. But yes, here the need of the hour is, I need money. I need to have a comfortable life. I need to be in a place where I can live like a queen. The man also thinks like that. The man says, you see, dowry is a very dangerous thing in India, but people take and give. This is wrong. It is absolutely wrong, but no. The boy will say, my parents have decided that somebody who gives 50 lakhs to me will get married into that family. Is that so? Motivated action, full of desires. This is the problem. So all this starts from what? A sankalpa, a thought. This thought creates the desire to do something. And when an action is performed with the underlying factor called desire, this action is going to lead me to future lifetimes. That means I am going to be born again and again and again and again. Let us look at it from a different perspective. Parents are interested in getting their autistic daughter married. They are trying their level best. They find a guy who is interested in getting married. Their family says, you have to pay me so much. Then only my son will marry your daughter. Now you tell me, how does this work? Is there a sankalpa? 100%. Is there a desire? 100%. Now you may say, what is wrong in that? Well, let me give you the picture in the what lifetime is going to crack for you. In this life, you are getting married to an autistic girl, which is by deceit. Don't you think you have sanctioned yourself the next life where you are going to be born as an autistic person? Autism is not a disease per se. It is some defect in the system. Like we have heart defects, we have lung defects, we have defects. So there is a defect in the system. You are asking for the defect. The next lifetime you are going to be leading the life of the other person, and that person is going to be leading your life. So have you not sanctioned yourself this kind of a life? All motivated actions are going to lead you to future lifetimes, and this is not one life we are talking about. The whole action reaction keeps on happening continuously, from one life to the other, to the other, to the other. So the next life of theirs, the reversal of roles keeps on happening. This is a simple example for you to understand where the problem lies. So who is a wise man? A wise man who does not have a sankalpa of the world. A wise man doesn't have a sankalpa of the world. So there is no desire whatsoever. When there is no desire whatsoever, and yet he performs action, desireless action, this person is free from all sins and karmas of this world. This is the verse. Even the wise man call him a sage whose undertakings, that means jobs what he does or the work that he does or the action that he does, are all free from desire and sankalpa, and whose actions are burnt by wisdom. The wisdom that is there in the person is not going to allow any of these actions that he performs gather sin or karma. I hope you all understood this verse. If not, I can repeat it once again for you. So we move to the next one. We are doing chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 20. He who, having totally given up attachment to action and their fruit, no longer depends on anything in the world and is ever content on anything in the is depending on anything in the world, is ever content, does nothing at all, though fully engaged in action. If you give up all the attachments of all kind, this attachment to your body plays things like we have discussed. So attachment to this action that they are performing, attachment to the action that a person is performing and the fruit thereof. When you are attached to the action or the fruit, this attachment to action and the end result are going to trap you in this world forever and ever and ever because of sins or karma accruing from it. Now let me give you an example from our side. We are building a Radha Krishna Mai Gurukul. The foundation, it is registered called the Mythistical Foundation. Mythistical Foundation is building something which is called a Gurukul. If I have this thought in my mind, I am gathering money so that I can finish the building. I can have that Gurukul. This is called a motivated action. So I will be dependent and thinking all the time of who is going to donate, who is going to donate, who is going to give me money. Did you get the point? Every thought of mine is going to get motivated towards doing something. But the wisdom says nothing is in your hands. End result is never in anybody's hands. Sri Krishna has already told these things. No action can be motivated because there is a problem at the end, no culmination of action, that is ending to that particular point. I will build an ashram. This is wrong. Reason being, that is not in the hands of an individual. It is the will of God. Always remember, every culmination, every result that is there is never in anybody's hand. It is only the will of God. He wants to make it, He will make it. Who are you to think that you are making it? Remember this line. Don't ever put this picture in your mind that I am doing it, I am doing it, or I am doing it. I built that thing. No. So, this person is a wise person. He doesn't even say that he has attachment to action. I am trying to gather money for the fruit. The fruit is that building has to come up. He is no longer dependent on anything in the world. He doesn't depend on somebody's money coming in. He's not even bothered about it. If the money comes, okay. Doesn't come, it's okay. Doesn't really matter. He is ever content. That person is full of contentment. There is nothing which will bother him. Because do you think he is driving that action? No. It is the Lord who is working in the body who is driving that action. The moment you take the onus, I am doing it, the I has come into the picture. The doership lies with you. So don't ever think that you are doing some great thing. So this action which is being performed is not a motivated action at all. It happens just by automation. He is ever content. He is not concerned or he is not even bothered. There is no money getting collected or there is so much of money coming in. This he is not even bothered. Does nothing at all. He doesn't do anything, which means this nothing at all doesn't mean sitting on your ass and doing nothing. I'm sorry I have to use this dirty word. But it doesn't mean that. It means that he is doing all actions and yet he is not doing anything. Though fully engaged in action. So the person is fully engaged in action and yet he is not doing anything at all. This verse I will tell you from the reverse angle. Now, see how it works. First and foremost, point number 1. You have to do all actions. Did you understand? The first line, you have to do all actions. Actions have to be performed. Number 2, whatever action that you do should not be a motivated action. I am doing this action because I want to do this. No motivation there. Action has to be done just like that. No motivation whatsoever. That means there is no desire whatsoever. So the motivated action doesn't have a desire attached to it. So there is no focus on the resultant. So you are not focused on the resultant. That is the final thing that is going to happen. You are not focused on reaching some destination. No. Don't be focused so much like that. When that is happening, when all this thing happens, all the actions turn into zero resultant, which means no sin or karma is coming to you. This, let me explain from a point of view of a machine. There is a machine. Okay? It is programmed to do certain actions. So it keeps on doing certain actions. It doesn't have a mind which says, no, I think there is something wrong. Maybe I should not do that. It's not thinking like that. It is just programmed to do that action. It does that action. After it finishes the action, it stops. There is a resultant. The machine is not bothered about the resultant. Okay? Now, I want you to think of it. You are a human being. Now, I am a human being and I am giving you a satsang. And I see one mosquito comes and sits on top of my nose over here. Okay? It sits. And I can see myself in the camera. Oh, there is a mosquito sitting over there. I'm going to do like this. And then it is flying somewhere. I'll try to do this and kill that mosquito. Is it a motivated action or no? Yes, it is a motivated action. I want to kill the mosquito. Why? It's trying to bite me, no? That's why I have to kill it. Now, but while doing this, A mosquito comes like this, sits on the nose. I do like this and I continue with my satsang. It has not even entered my mind that the mosquito has come. So there was no motivation in shooing it away. There was the action happened on its own, just like automation. Did you get it? So this kind of an action where the mind doesn't come into play is a non-motivated action, doesn't lead to karma. But if I look at it from the point of view, oh, there's a mosquito, like I want to do that. And then I will say, how did the mosquito come inside? I don't know. This whole room is closed. And then I should have put on that machine which will kill that mosquito. Next time I'm going to do this. This is a mind talk which happened. See, the mind has started talking. Jabber, 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 jabber. Why is your mind talking? So if the mind is coming into the picture and it talks, you're finished. Then that action is a motivated action. Remember, what did I tell you? What does karma say? You have to get it back. So now imagine yourself as a mosquito flying and sitting on that mosquito's nose, who is now turned into Guruji. A mosquito Guruji has turned. So this is what happens. So we have to be very careful. Action should not be led by any kind of desire in it. Desireless action leads us to what is called as no karma. Action full of desires and motivation leads us to karmas after karmas after karmas, and life after life you are going to be back. So this is what this verse says. He who has totally given up attachment to action. Don't be attached to this action. I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. Don't even say those words. Even by accident also don't say those words. Oh, I made that kheer, I made that khichdi, I made this thing. People have this habit of asking, how is it? How is it? How is it? How is it? Very nice, very nice. I made it. Really? Motivated action. You're going to suffer for it. You're going to be born again and again and again, and that other person has to feed you. Why would you want that other idiot to be born again in your life? No? That is the reason why we have to be away from this. So, totally giving up attachment to the action and their fruit. The final fruit is something we should not be bothered about. It is not in your hands. Yesterday I was reading about Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Swami Dayananda Saraswati wanted to build an ashram. This is in it's in Kerala, I think. It's called Aniketi. That's the place. He started building that ashram and it went on dragging for full 5 years. Meanwhile, he went to America, set up an ashram in 2 years, and then another ashram in 3 years in 2 places, and he came back to India. This ashram was still getting built. 5 years it took for that ashram to come up. But if you would have been a normal human being, you would have stressed and strained and felt so much miserable. Why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? No. The spiritual person, he says, God's will, God willing, when it has to happen, it will happen. When money has to come, it will come. Why do I need to bother? I just got to do my work, my duty. This is what it means. No longer depends on anything in the world. He's not dependent on anything or anybody. No human being is not dependent on some human being. If some human being is doing that thing, suppose somebody is building that ashram, means some laborer or worker or architect or engineer is building, it is not your call. God has put him over there. What makes you think that you have put him over there? No, I gave the contract to him. Sorry, boss. You have not given the contract. It's a will of the Lord which has made him do the work over there. It's not some great shakes that you have put him. I was going to use Porotham bricks. Now I'm going to use these bricks. That's not your problem. God doesn't like Porotham bricks anymore. So now he's going to put regular bricks. That is again not supposed to be in your hands. What has to be will be. Ke sara sara. Whatever will be, will be. You know the song? It's like that. So, he's ever content. So, the person is ever content. He's always a happy-go-lucky person. Okay, all is fine. All is okay. I don't mind. God is doing everything. Let me do my work. So, you have to be like that, contented. No, don't keep on cribbing or cribbing or cribbing. Why am I not getting married? Why is this not happening? Why is that not? Why I don't have the money? Why this is... Don't bother. It is God's will. It's going to happen in its own sweet time. Why it is going to happen, when it's going... Why are you bothered so much? So this person does nothing at all. A person who is contented and doing what he is supposed to do, though fully engaged in action. So you will be fully engaged in action and yet you are not engaged in action because you are ever contented. You leave it in the hands of God. Let Him do what He wants. It's His will, His desire. This is the thing. Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, sir, you just do your job. Go take your lift, your bow and arrow and shoot. Whether the fellow dies or doesn't die, whether something is happening, why are you bothered? Just do your action. Okay? So we have come to this part. Tomorrow we will do the later half of this. So today we will stop over here.